going on, guys? It's Tex Mex.
That's Logan.
We're doing another episode today. Logan had time today.
I got
Today we're
time
talking
today,
about
cuz.
mental health. What was that?
I got time today, cuz.
Oh, he got time today, cuz. But yeah, mental health. It's a topic that's touchy for a lot of people, but you know, it is something that we need to talk about a little bit more, especially as men as well. But it's not just exclusive to men. It is something that men put on the back burner a lot.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
I mean, we can bring up what's your idea of mental health, like the state of mental health right now in America specifically.
Right now, I feel like the state of mental health is pretty shot right now. A lot of people are going through a lot that, as men, we are not pressured, but we're influenced not to really talk about it enough. To our friends, to people that really care, we're just meant to bottle it up. That's what we're told, and I feel like that it is being shown a lot. It's starting to bubble up and blow out the bottle.
Do you think it's gotten worse the past couple of years?
Oh, definitely. With the rise of social media, now people are being able to compare themselves easier with other people, which takes a toll on people's mental health.
It's almost ironic. A lot of things in life I like to look at overall net positives and overall net negatives. It's kind of like saying, oh, this is an easy way to put it. So, eating this product, this is medicine, right? We'll say medicine has the side effects of causing more damage than the actual thing this medicine's trying to heal.
Yeah,
So overall, it's worse to take this medicine versus stay off it and have the current condition you have.
exactly.
And that is something social media, let's be honest, might arguably be an overall net negative because it was created to bring people together, but now it's almost keeping people in.
Keeping people in, and it's driving people apart. People,
Right,
making
it's
people isolate.
because it goes in so many different ways what social media has done, especially when you talk about, for one random example, like politics. People kind of get themselves in their own little bubble and they're only hearing from yes men and people that just agree with them, and it's pushing them away from other people. It's almost, you're isolating yourself. And then not just talking about that, now we go into like the fitness industry. It seems like so many.
But
One thing I heard too is someone said don't follow the same plan that someone who doesn't have a job does, because a lot of people don't have time to do all that. Well, you have time to do anything realistically, but we're talking about fitting into a schedule versus someone that has a much more freed up schedule that can do the things that he's doing specifically for him,
yeah,
not for this person.
it causes a lot of insecurities, especially financially, when you see like
Oh, finance
people are like,
insecurity
oh,
blew up, but by the pyramid schemes that coming
yeah,
up.
forex and all that.
Right. It's almost like a lot of channels are blowing up by people, by one person having this little trade thing, telling everyone else how broke they are, and it's building that sense of insecurity for a lot of people.
Like, dang, maybe I need to be doing that. When
But in
that
reality,
isn't even
yeah,
real.
they might not be even doing that. It's just someone else selling a product.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, going back to the main thing, mental health has gotten a lot worse. And one other thing besides social media, maybe it could play a part in it, but our culture is growing closer and closer into people being a lot more selfish. And don't get me wrong, being selfish isn't an absolute good, nor is it an absolute bad. So being selfish, sometimes you have to be.
Yeah.
However, right now it's a lot of, if it's not causing you a direct problem, you avoid it, and that causes a lot of people to not want to open up and talk to other people. For example, a lot of veterans and active duty. I've seen it many times where someone is just trying to talk to someone, and then the first thing someone said, oh go talk to the military suicide hotline,
Yeah.
or go talk to this source. Here's these resources, which I think people need to understand is when they need to hear themselves talk sometimes, because in a way that's saying, I don't want to hear about your problems. Go talk to the people that are paid
Yeah.
to do it.
Some people just want to be heard.
Right, especially by someone that you think that cares about you.
Yep.
I think that's one of the biggest things that takes a toll on people's mental health is when you built this network of people that you think care about you, and then when the time comes, you kind of fall off.
You're redirected here. Oh, talk to this person. Don't talk to me. Don't take your problems here. I'm not
Right.
even. They say I'm not even allowed to really talk to you about that. But yeah, that does take a toll on people's mental health.
Right, and there's a stigma of people talking about problems they have, and then it's looking as a weakness. I That is one of the biggest problems that I see personally, because to me, it shows strength in someone that's able to exploit their weakness and say, "I have this problem and I want to fix it."
Mm-hmm.
What people I feel like need to differentiate is, yes, there are some people that I don't want to say helpless, but they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
They are either sulking in themselves. Some people have mental, finding the best way to put this together. They have a desire for people to talk to them, and that's their way of getting attention. Like because we don't want to bring that whole group together. People that just want to talk versus people who are doing that. Because when you group them together, then the lines get blurred, and you're not helping the people that want to be helped.
Exactly. Like there is people that just want to be miserable because their life is just boring. They just want something to complain about.
Right.
And then there's actually people that need to talk to somebody to get it off their chest and don't want to be miserable.
And then there's the other portion of people that have everything good, but they're missing something that's really affecting them. So that's why we can't group everyone together, because it's too gray. It's too gray to believe in absolutes in this specific scenario. But one thing, on a more positive note, that I think will help a lot of people and help me is really understanding perspective. Because I know people get tired of hearing perspective, perspective, perspective. So there's a book, I'm sure you read when you were a kid, A Series of Unfortunate Events. That is that whole series about some kids that have worse and worse and worse stuff happen to their life every book. And in one book, I forgot which one, I think it was the sixth one, the reptile room. No, that might be the fifth one. But it was saying Violet was the young girl, one of the main characters, saying, I could be getting eaten by a bear, but I'm not. But when you're staring at the adversities of life in the face, and then looking at yourself and feeling unaccomplished, it's hard to put yourself in that perspective of getting eaten by a bear. And more relative example of that is, it's really hard for a lot of people to truly understand your worst case scenario tomorrow is a lot of people's best case scenario.
Yeah, it's just about getting out of your own head and being able to take that step back and looking at your situation and be like, it could be worse. Honestly, a lot of people.
It could be a lot worse. We were talking to someone not that long ago, and I was talking to old buddy, and he says, I want to get out of the military, but I'm afraid I won't get a job. And I told him, your worst case scenario, you can re-enlist, and let me explain it this way: you'll be providing for your family, loved ones, yourself mainly, and that is a lot of people's best case scenario, being able to provide for themselves and their family on a daily basis.
Exactly.
But that is something really hard to ingrain in people, because we do have a system, we do have pride, and a lot of people are hungry for more. But sometimes it's good to take a step back and realize life isn't as bad as we think it sometimes.
Being grateful and gratitude, that can take you a long way. That can really pull you out of a lot of mental clouds that you find yourself in. Being like, at least I got this. At least I have the funds to pay for a lawyer. At least I can wake up and I'm healthy enough to walk or drive somewhere to fix the problem that I have. Some people just have problems they can't do anything about.
Like, perspective and finding a reason for the things you do, I think genuinely does tremendous change in someone's life. I'll give three quick examples. One is someone asking someone, why are you going to the gym every day? I'm going to the gym every day for that person that became paralyzed, or for that person that isn't able to go and wish they could.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one where he's a very famous Navy SEAL, and they're about to go on the Bin Laden operation, and he said, As one of his team members. This was on the Sean Ryan show. He said, "Why are we gonna go do this if we know we're gonna die?" He said, "I'm still gonna do this mission, but why are we gonna do this?" And then the I think one of the team leads responded, "We're doing this for the poor lady that jumped off the building and fell to her death because it was better than burning alive in that building and had the decency to hold her skirt down while she was falling down." So they're going into this highly dangerous mission with this purpose and this exact reason for doing this for someone else that lost the ability to do anything. And then the third thing we'll bring up is one this is a big one too, and it helps being religious, but this might even help if you reword it a little differently. The struggles you have now, remember you once prayed to have those. So when someone says, for example, being a young father is very difficult. Sometimes, like, I have my patience pushed to the max and I feel like I'm going crazy. But I have to remember at one point, I prayed for this.
Yeah.
I was begging to God saying, please let me have a family. And now it's happened. What am I complaining about?
Exactly.
You complain about how hard your job is. Remember when you were jobless, broke, and praying for a job?
For something
Those,
stable.
right. So I think that goes into another big thing, saying difficulties, challenge and difficulties are a blessing the way you look at it. Because the further you push your life toward adversity, and struggle, but with reward, the stronger you become. The whole. One more thing I actually heard. I had my headphones playing. I was listening to a podcast, and what it was said. I don't think it was David Goggins. It was someone else, and he said, and this hit me pretty hard. He said, if you don't sacrifice for who you want to be will be a sacrifice.
Ooh.
That's a tough thing to hear.
That's a bar, yeah.
It's really difficult but I think that goes along to the main thing we're saying. It's hard to put yourself in perspective.
Exactly.
But sometimes you have to. I think being a human, especially now, we've reached a point in society, at least in the United States, where we're the most comfortable the human race has ever been. And now we're having the difficulty of surviving with silence. And that is, for me personally, I'll say, after my first 2 deployments, it was so difficult coming home and it being quiet. Not always having a problem to fix and something to do. It's hard to sit there and be quiet. And it did take a small toll on me mentally because you're just sitting there with your anxiety and now you have time to think about everything that's went wrong. So a big thing that could help people's mental health is challenge yourself daily.
Leaning towards the silence, giving yourself time to think on that. And not just trying to distract yourself constantly.
Right.
And keep yourself busy so you don't think about it. Then it eventually boils over and then you can't control it. But if you have the time to sit and think about it, embrace the quiet, embrace the uncomfortable, then...
It almost makes you think, like, why is sloth one of the 7 deadly sins?
Yeah.
That goes into that. And everyone needs to know that it's not just about life being hard and that makes life good. It's hard. Good things come with hard times and hard challenges. If you're challenging yourself on a daily, you'll see the reward afterwards. Like, we'll put this day by day. Person A, we'll call him Eric. Person B, we'll say Derek. Eric and Derek.
Right.
They both have the same job, same amount of free time and everything. But what they do with their free time will change their mental health. So Eric wants to bed rot, doom scroll, eat unhealthy, all the bad habits that make him feel comfortable and better at the moment, and maybe even adhere to his eating disorder and overeat, binge, maybe even have bulimia after because he wants to throw the stuff up after he ate.
Yep.
Or he wants to make himself feel as comfortable as possible in the moment while avoiding adversity. Derek, on the other hand, is going to spend his time on his health for himself. He's going to make his bed. He's going to clean up his room. He's going to, because I know your mom probably told you this. A cluttered room is a cluttered mind.
Yep.
That is very big. So he's gonna take care of his house. His food is clean. He feels good what he's eating. He's gonna sit down, do some push-ups. He's gonna feel good at the end of the day. And over time, 5 years later, you'll see the product of both these people. Eric is now 400 pounds, hates himself. Derek, and this is like I said, it's very general. Of course, everyone has their own little things that go on that change everything. But with that small example, but Derek now is proud of who he is, proud of the body he's built, proud of the habits he's instilled. And then Eric as Derek, you're lucky you got like that. I wish I had that time. But these two people have the same amount of free time. I mean, we've seen it, like I'm sure a lot of people have coworkers where they have the same schedule, but what they're doing with their free time.
They're two completely different kinds of trees with two completely different kinds of fruit that
Right.
grow from them.
And then a lot of people, I think one of the biggest things I look at myself is when someone would tell me something like that before, because I'm working on it now. It's a constant chase toward not perfection but improvement from yesterday.
Exactly.
But if someone told me what I just said, 7 years ago before the military, I would have said, whatever, man, I got this going on, I have these problems. So if the first thing someone brings up is excuses, there might be some insecurities. This person, man or woman, is hurting inside.
Exactly.
Because then you see, I know a lot of, especially women, have problems with after pregnancy. And a lot of women take it upon themselves saying, I'm going to take care of my body before and after. And of course, everything differentiates with time and situation, but we cannot deny, there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself. That's an overall net positive, doing what you can.
Yeah.
And there was an episode in the Boondocks too where, what was it? I think Huey asked Granddad, it's like, I don't want to misquote it, but I'm going to get it almost correct. Granddad, if there's nothing I can do, or I want to do something, but it feels like there's nothing I can do, what do? And Granddad says you do what you can.
Do what you can, no.
Which is true. You should do what you can. Every single second you spend, use it as currency.
Exactly. Somebody told me before, always constantly have the mindset of, alright, what's the next right thing to do with my time? Not just mindlessly go through your days and mindlessly do whatever, because you look back, the day is going to end no matter if you do something for yourself or not. The day is going to end.
How you going to feel when you get in bed?
Yep.
I think that's a good point to bring up. Like, schedule helps people a lot. Put yourself on a schedule. You don't have to be Goggins tomorrow, but you can put yourself on a schedule and building those small habits that change over time. I believe the old saying is it takes 21 days to make a habit. So spend 21 days doing small things in your house. Because let's be honest, it doesn't take that long to clean small houses. You can spend that 30 minutes just going hard, taking care of it, and then when you get home to that clear, beautiful space, it changes things.
Like, I can speak for myself with my situation going on, getting discharged. I definitely admit it took a toll on my mental health, big time. And for about a good week or two, I was in that mind space of, dang, there ain't nothing I can do, doom scrolling, bed rotting, not doing anything with my days, because I'm like, there's no point. But changing, and then afterwards, I was like, alright, I can only control what I can control. The decision that I'm stressed out about has been made. I can't do anything about it. The only thing that'll differentiate it being a negative or positive for me is how I move forward about it. And then I just started doing little stuff, building little wins, going off momentum, and now I can say I'm at a way better place.
I think that's you chose your hard. It's hard to do the things you did, but it's also hard to be the product of it not doing those things.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest things that I had to learn also. It's really hard for, like, we'll give a random example. For someone that had a traumatic childhood, it's really hard to, if not forgive, let go of it. But it's also really hard to live with that for the rest of your life.
Exactly.
It's really hard to go to the gym or go for runs or take care of yourself. But it's also really hard to die from cardiac arrest before the age of 50.
It's hard to be broke and it's hard to get rich.
That is true. I mean, you choose your heart.
Exactly.
And a lot of people say, well, I won't get to that point. Well, that's fine. You may not get to this point, you may not get to here. But there's nothing wrong with trying to do things that will benefit you. And that's something like going back to the time is currency. So you only have 365 days a year. So imagine you only have $365. How are you spending it?
Exactly.
So, and it's a pretty generic way to explain it. And I know a lot of people they don't like to be too generic. You know, everyone's advice. I would say take it with a grain of salt because none of it's gonna be tailored exactly for you because you're the only person that lives your life. But you know what's making your life worse and what's making your life better.
Like with the currency thing, to make it more specific, say you got 24 hours in a day, you got $24. I seen on Instagram before, it was like you got $24 and you lose $1. Are you gonna throw away
The rest of the money, I heard about that. Was it a football player? I forget. But someone said, I think it was like my wife did something that got me really mad, and I was upset about it. But am I gonna let that ruin my whole day? It was something like that. I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
And I think that's something too that a lot of people are having trouble with, and also sometimes I may too is regulating your emotions and allowing them to control you sometimes. And it's not easy. None of this is easy.
Not at all.
But I implore everyone watching this to do the little things that will make life easier. Because we all wake up with the same amount of time, the same amount of days, if you live that long. And if you are, then you're blessed. But what doesn't change of what you've done for yourself. What you've done for yourself, and once you see that product in the mirror, getting to a point where you love what you see in the mirror. That is probably one of the best blessings anybody can have in their life.
Exactly.
And I hope that everyone can reach that one day. I'm even finding like hobbies connected with other people. Because I think social media also brought in this new era of people saying, not people. I'm not a people person. I don't like talking to people. You know, it's almost... Because if you look at us biologically, you know, we're animals. You can even think about pack animals. We're not solitary.
Yeah, we're not wolves.
The lone wolf is usually seen as weaker because it can't stand with the pack. So there's nothing wrong with not being a super public person, but you should try your best to be slightly social. Have a couple friends because there's always going to be someone out there that wants to talk to you. But by isolating yourself, you're doing nothing but harm for yourself. It's very difficult for a lot of people to get out that bubble, especially with anxiety and everything. But being able, like we said, we choose your heart. It's really hard to meet new people and make friends and lose friends and get your heart broken. It's also really fucking hard to live your whole life alone.
It is. Yep. You gotta choose your battles. Which battle will put you in a better position after,
Right.
which is definitely important. I feel like community heals people.
I think one other good thing is too is all this serious talk we're having. It's also good to let go and not take life so serious constantly. You know what's that old joke that people make fun of in houses, the live, laugh, love sign?
Oh yeah.
But I mean, there is truth in that. You should learn to live, laugh, and love.
Live, laugh, and love. As simple as that.
That is it's a lot of people will look at this situation and only see the downsides, but I think having that sense of humor, for some people it could be darker humor than others, but being able to enjoy the little things. Like, you ever seen the Zombieland where they found the little snowballs? So like the movie is like a zombie apocalypse, and then the guy spent his whole life looking for Twinkies,
Yeah.
and then he finally found the Twinkies, and that's all he wanted. So there's little things in life that will make it better. I mean, we can look at the guy that cut you off all day on the road, but then, you know, I have a little smile when there's some, you know, nice people letting you go in. They're slowing down so you can get in the road. Those little things are so easily clouded by the negatives. You know, you woke up and your shoes were exactly where you remembered you put them yesterday. You woke up and your coffee was at the perfect temperature. Like, those little things will amount to so much once you actually pay attention to them. a lot of people, especially in marriages, will look at the one thing their husband or wife did, but won't remember the thousands of good things they did.
Yeah.
Like, oh, my wife, she didn't. The dinner wasn't good tonight, but the house is clean. The kids are happy. There's so many things to be happy and grateful about, but that can be so easily clouded by your perspective and looking at the negative things taking over.
Perspective, definitely. That is important.
And what's another thing that you think about to bring up? I'm gonna do a quick comment check.
I'd say.
So if someone commented at Fox Daily Emotion, if your future self could judge this version of you honestly, what would hurt to hear?
If my future self could judge this version of me right now, what would hurt to hear? I feel like
That's a pretty tough comment. Think about it.
if your future's like you.
So like, you want me to jump on it? 'Cause I got one.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So I can imagine if I didn't take the risks that I'm scared of taking. There's with jobs, or if I, especially 50 years from now, man, he never got as jacked as he wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then I think a big thing too is if I looked at myself in the mirror years from now and I didn't spend enough time with my kids.
That's a powerful.
I think that's a big one too.
Yeah.
It's hard, it's not easy at all. And 'cause I think that's the biggest thing I try to avoid with life though. I try to avoid hypotheticals because they are endless.
Exactly.
When it comes to the human mind is really good at thinking at the worst case scenario constantly. But I think my worst case scenario is if I didn't try hard enough.
Yeah. I'd say definitely if my future self looked at me right now and I realized that I let all this potential that I have within me just go to waste, all because I was scared of what somebody might say or what somebody might think about me. I feel like that would be really detrimental to hear, that I let opinions of other people stop me from reaching my full potential.
That that is a fair point to say, because I think a lot of people need to understand that all these negative people that are stuck in their space love to hear when you didn't get what you wanted from taking that risk. So all these people doubting if anybody's watching and they're scared to take that leap of faith to do something they're scared to do because everyone around them is they're salivating at the idea of you failing because they couldn't do it themselves. Take that out your head and send it, go for it, and let the silence be enough, because you're always going to have critics no matter what. Well, at least like from us, like, we're God-fearing men, so if Jesus was treated the way he was, because even if you're not religious, the text does say that he was a good guy, and this happened to him.
Yeah.
If they're willing to do that, what are they willing to do for you?
You ain't special.
That's the problem. Like,
Exactly.
you're not special to realistically almost anybody. We're all unknown to each other. The person that you should think, the biggest person that I think you should care about, and this is like outside family talk. So I'm gonna put God and family outside this conversation just for one moment to reach as many people as possible, because I do try pushing the belief of God a lot of people. But when we're talking about just individuals, you need to love the person you see in the mirror. That person should be special to you. Obviously, there is a certain point where pride can hurt you, but you have to care about yourself. You have to put that effort to do things that are good for you.
Exactly.
And but we were positive for a second, but when I get back to being serious, suicide, people offing themselves on the rise heavily, especially with veterans. I think one of the saddest statistics that I've seen is, you ever seen the graph where it shows military deaths, and then you see all the wars that last 30 years, pretty not much of a steep rise. I believe in the last 20 years less than 4,000. in total, and most of those were IEDs and accidents.
Yeah,
But the suicide is just a straight up graph, and it's exponentially growing. That is crazy.
it is. In book club, we were talking about yesterday, the Golden Gate Bridge. Like,
Oh, they had to put the netting and everything, all the suicides.
yeah, we were saying like almost 200 people out of like, let's say like 200 people ended up jumping off the bridge. Out of those 200, good for it. And then there's a part of your mind that knows what's good for.
Looked a little cleaner, this and that. And when I finally got up and put in work, took about 20, 30 minutes. It was spotless after.
Yep.
That time I spent thinking versus actually doing. If I did it without thinking, I would have had an extra hour of time, because in total, that was 90 minutes of possible action, taken up by 60 minutes of non-action. Because, like I said earlier, not making a decision is a big decision.
That's still a decision, choosing not to do anything.
And a lot of people, I think, being stuck is one of the worst feelings too, where you feel like there's nowhere to go. That's when at times it might help to take that leap and do something different. Do something like shock your body.
Yep. They say depression can't hit a moving target. Like when I'm in my room and I find myself like,
Say it again.
depression can't hit a moving target. True.
Hey,
Your bad
can you
habits can't
elaborate
hit
on
a
that?
moving target.
That's a
Like,
really good
I'm
thing
in
to
my
say.
room, my brain starts to ruminate, especially with what's going on now. I'd be in there like, damn, and then it starts spiraling, the worst possible thought, then it just keeps getting worse and worse. I jump up, I'm like, I'm taking a walk, I gotta get out of here. And then I take a walk, and then I always come back with a better mindset.
That is something, I think, one of the most undervalued activities anyone can do is just getting up and getting a fresh of breath air and walking. Being able to take yourself away from social media, away from all the negativity, and take a breath and just live. Live in the moment, enjoy the wind, enjoy these things, enjoy the life that you have. It's really easy to hate your life when you're constantly looking at the perception of that social media gives that everyone's life is better than yours,
Yep,
and that's not really how it is.
it's not. It's smoke and mirrors.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors, so you can't judge everything about your life based on that comparison of yours and what people on the internet are doing. Because they're posting a 5-minute reel, they're not posting the other hours and hours and hours of what you don't know about. So yeah, time check.
It is 7:51.
All right. Well, we've actually been going for a while, huh?
Yeah.
All right, we'll close it off these last 9 minutes. So if you're right now, if there's someone in the audience really struggling right now, what would be your biggest 3 things you could say to them?
Shoot. Biggest 3 things I'd say. Try to get a perspective that is not toxic. By that, which would segue into my next thing, is you get out of isolation, get around people, get out into the world, go outside, and then you could see that the world is bigger than the 4 walls or whatever that you find yourself ruminating in. And then the last thing I'd just say, learn to forgive yourself, definitely, because you're gonna make mistakes, but if you just keep holding on to them, it's like freaking poison.
So if I had to finish off with 3 big things, the first one would be that you're cared about. Me personally, I am taught, especially by my religion, to love everybody, regardless of how different we are, whether or not I agree with the way you live. So my comment section is always open, and for more personal, I'm opening a separate email to reach out to people if they ever have questions or anyone just wants to talk. So everyone needs someone to talk to once in a while. So that will be dropped later today. Just comment. We'll reach out to you via email or whatever. We're always willing to hear anybody out. But yeah, number 1, you're cared about. If you think by nobody, at least by me, and love them. That is a definite absolute. Number two is I'm a what did Chief like say? I'm gonna piggyback off that.
I'm gonna piggyback off.
So yeah, forgive yourself. You're going to make mistakes. Life's gonna get hard. You're going to mess up. You can choose to hate yourself for that mistake, or you can choose to love the fact that you learned what not to do, or learn that there's a different way I can approach this now. You know, because your relationship failed doesn't mean that you failed. Maybe you did something wrong. Maybe it was out of your control. That is something that you learned that you're gonna put in your pocketbook and carry on either with resentment or with appreciation of life. You have to appreciate the downfall, the downfall of life as well, because that's gonna make you remember when you once you are in a better spot, you're gonna remember how low you were, and you're gonna look back now and saying, "Wow, look what I've overcome to get to this point." And that's gonna come with grace and forgiveness for yourself. And number three, 100% was one of the biggest things we talked about today. If you can't do anything, you still do what you can. Any possible single thing that can make your life a little bit better, send it. If you can make your bed a little bit better, do it. If you can adjust your calories by a little bit to meet your goal, make it easier, do it. If you can save money with this little coupon to help you pay off your credit card debt, do it. Any little thing to help chip away at the mountain will help, because it's so much easier to get crushed by that mountain of coals when you keep adding to it. But if you start chipping away, taking it rock by rock, and doing less of shoveling into that mound, eventually you're gonna see there's a flat surface. You can finally walk across and get to the end where you want to go. And now you're gonna see another mound, and it's up to you whether to let it build up or to take it down all over again.
One day or day one. That's what it is.
That is how it goes.
Yep.
New Year's resolutions aren't new person tomorrow.
Yep.
It's about trying to make those habits, and if you truly try, it'll happen. Like what Conor McGregor said, if you see it and you believe it, it'll come. Exactly. So that was our take on the mental health, how we can improve it a little bit. We'll do a part 2, part 3 of this eventually. But thank you guys for watching. To the couple people that liked the stream, this will be uploaded so you guys can come back and watch it. And also for any new viewers, thank you for subscribing and thank you for liking. This is Tex-Mex and that is Logan. You guys take care. We're going to go hit the gym and do something right. It's a little bit late, but whatever. Throw a little bit of caffeine and go push some heavy weight, get some plates. What they say, what's that? More plates, more dates?
More plates, more dates. Curls for the girls.
You guys take care. Have a good one. And that is another.